fight was supposed to happen on short notice. Now it's going to be May 9th in the US. So he's going to get those extra 3 weeks to train. So I'm just wondering, what do you think this fight is going to look like, Bas? How do you think it's going to play out, especially between Tony and Justin, especially with these extra 3 weeks that Justin is going to get to train, which undoubtedly will improve his cardio and a bunch of other things in this fight?
First of all, lives in Colorado, Mile High, so he's got already an advantage on that. He's always in great shape. Plus, on top of that, he has an enormous heart. So even when he's tired, he fights on heart. There's not a lot of people who actually can do that. Ferguson actually is the same kind of guy, but then he's loaded up on stamina as well. Ferguson, yeah, this is going to be fight of the night. I mean, both these guys, how many fight of the nights they had? 4 on one side, 5 on the other side. I mean, they're all the time. They have the bonuses, the performances of the night. I mean, these guys are just super excited. This could be the fight of the year, what's going to come up. Because most of the time when you see those two big brawlers, you think, oh, this is going to be a barn burner, like Lewis and Ngannou. You thought, oh, this is going to be it. But that's not. It's like the worst fight on the planet. With these guys, that will never happen. They're wired completely different. They just only want to go, and especially Ferguson, because he can keep on pushing. That's the greatest thing about having stamina. You can be a super technical fighter, but if there is a guy who knows how to wrestle, who knows everything, and he's in your face, well, as a striker, it's very hard to hit with body weight when you can't plant your feet on the ground, because your body weight you can't put in there if your feet are not on the ground at the moment of impact. Of course, you can knock somebody out with an arm punch. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying for a really good striker who knows how to move backwards, for Doom and Junior? No.
Steven Miocic.
Miocic. I mean, that was great. Moving backwards and then dropping him with that hook. You see, but that's a very hard thing to do. You need to be a specially skilled fighter. These guys going to go, boom, that's what's going to happen. Head on, and that's almost like what Max Holloway did. They're going to draw a line, and let's not move away from this line. That's the feeling that I have. Now, if they will be smart, at least Gaethje will be smart, I would start to see moving in and out. That's what you really need to do. I wouldn't start swinging, because then you're rolling the dice. It's about who hits the first, who connects the first. It's dangerous, but it's going to be great for us.
Who do you think is the more, I mean, technique aside, Gaethje is just such a scary guy. Who do you think is the more powerful and devastating striker? Justin Gaethje or a guy like Conor McGregor?
It's McGregor has the accuracy. He's the guy that whatever he wants to hit, he connects with that. Gaethje swings. And, and then if one lands, great. That just so. But he might need 3 or 4 shots. Now, he already start pulling back. And that's what I like about it. That's why I kind of like it. I'm not really liking it if somebody loses by knockout. It's never good. But for him, I think it has been great, because now he started thinking and moving in and out and not taking as much damage. So I think he can do much better. He's a big power puncher for sure. But I think McGregor is a more technical striker, at least in fighting. Competing in training, everybody looks great. It's how can you bring that from training into a fight, and if you can still do that most of the time is the guy who's going to win.
There's one more fight that we want to get your thoughts on, but just before we get off Tony versus Justin, I wanted to ask you if you have a prediction, a way that you see this one ending. I feel like people see it going one of 2 ways. Tony, sometimes, he does get hit in fights, he does take damage, and Justin has really big knockout power. People think that if Justin can connect, then he might be able to finish Tony. The other way is that Tony just has such a relentless pace, and he can potentially drown Justin sort of in those later rounds because he's had a better training camp. Which one do you sort of see as more likely? What would your prediction be?
Yeah, that would exactly what you see. This is it's going to be very hard to predict a fight like that, because Tony's never been hit that hard, because like you said, Gaethje can freaking swing, and if you connect with it, that could be a big problem. But Ferguson is also a smart guy. We think, he comes forward, but if he knows this is going to be he's going to face the hardest puncher he ever had, he might start moving in and out. By the way, really think, and this doesn't make any doesn't say anything about the quality, but the only person who actually stopped Ferguson was a student of mine, Jamie Tony, a long time ago. In 2013, he put him in a triangle choke. But then Ferguson went on to become this freaking monster right now. So, but that was early in his career. But I was just thinking, this is cool, because when I was looking up, I go like, man, he's never been stopped. And I said, Jamie Tony. Oh yeah, of course, I knew that. So, but that was the last time, and since then, this guy's been on a roll. I mean, won his last 12, I think now, right?
Yeah.
I think that's even a record in the UFC. I believe it is. Most wins in a row in his weight division.
Without a title shot.
Yeah, I think Ferguson. You would think because he fought the better competition at the end, and he's been such a long time in the UFC. But like you said, if Gaethje is going to connect, I mean, he hits so hard. What if Gaethje takes him down and he doesn't work the guard? He starts squats in there and he just starts landing punches on the ground. I mean, he's got so much power in his hand. He might stop him with strikes on the ground. But Ferguson is the guy, and he's never been knocked out. The guy's just is insane. It's almost he just keeps on coming. I love it.